Yo, what's good, fam? Instrumentality's on that we good again. And we flipping out like the end of my brim. Tryna get that good, so I throw in the fin. Getting it in, living it win, reminiscing. We could give a fuck about tomorrow's begin. So we at Water Tower till they think that we residents. Posted on walls like Facebook messages.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Video games and film adaptations are the media equivalent to oil and water, at least most of the time. For every Super Mario Bros., Fnaf, and Sonic the Hedgehog, you'd get a mouthful of garbage that are good to turn your brain off to at best, and absolute oceans of horrific dreg at worst, like Street Fighter, Assassin's Creed, or Doom. You know, Doom, starring Dwayne Johnson. Remember that one? On paper, the concept of translating the thrilling action, rich lore, and fan-favorite characters of games into cinematic experiences seems foolproof. But time and time again, we've seen directors and screenwriters trip over the finish line, leaving fans disappointed or flat out angry. There's a really in-depth video about this very topic by the YouTuber Edake that goes into exactly what I'm talking about, so I'll leave that below. Part of the problem is often trying to cram complex gaming narratives into a couple of hours, leaving them feeling rushed and watered down. Throw in miscasting, odd stylistic choices, and a tendency to ignore what made the original game iconic, and you've got yourself the perfect recipe for disaster. I'm personally of the opinion that as much as I'd love for it to be real, something like Red Dead Redemption or Shadow of Mordor could never be big budget movies, simply because of their complexity. That said, there's been a gradual shift in recent years. Studios seem to be paying closer attention to what gamers actually want. Productions like Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog have proven it's possible to strike a balance between appeasing loyal fans and attracting wider audiences, although with a little tripping over itself now and again. These movies leaned into the heart of their source material, while adding fresh elements that worked well for cinema. It's been a learning curve for sure, but it's exciting to think about how video game adaptations might just be moving towards a brighter future, with the hope now being that filmmakers keep listening to fans and embracing the storytelling brilliance that games offer, because, simply putting it, when it's done right, it's magic. So with all that said, it kinda comes as more than a shock that one of the most successful adaptations of all time was something that looked like this.
Who are you?
I'm Steve.
Yeah, the Minecraft movie, a Minecraft movie, the adaptation for one of the highest selling video games of all time, is a movie that, even if I try, is kinda hard to put into words. I'll admit, when brainstorming the script, I was struggling to think up what I was gonna say for the video, just cause I'm really split down the middle for it. And I don't think I'm alone on thinking like this too. This is a movie that has caused theaters to straight up stop showings for it because of the crowds that go to see it. One that's had the whole internet in a confused state of mind about its existence, all the while laughing all the way to the bank with how successful it became. So with this video, that's what I'm gonna try to do. Go over the history of how a movie like this became how it is, the hectic and hellish production it went through, and just how much of an impact it's made in theaters and the public at large. This is how the Minecraft movie proved everyone wrong. Well, you can't exactly prove anyone right or wrong if you don't got the finished product itself. But it's the Minecraft movie. How hard can it be? Well, take it back to the beginning. February 6, 2014. Brandon Latch, a special effects artist for Rocket Jump, actually made a Kickstarter for his own Minecraft movie, Birth of Man, a Minecraft feature film. It only showed the concept as a live-action hybrid movie set as an epic fantasy movie, but it did seem very promising, building up over $60,000 of a $600,000 budget and a bit over 1,000 backers in one day, no less. How do I know this? Because on February 7th, the day after the Kickstarter launched, it got cancelled. Most signs of the cancellation point to a Notch tweet, stating that there was an IP issue with Latch not making any deals with Mojang or Notch before making the Kickstarter. People got mad, but then the world moved on. Until the end of the same month when it was announced Minecraft would be getting a movie with Warner Bros. Crazy work to run with, right? Regardless of the stupid switch up from the guy no one should be taking seriously in the Big 25, we officially kick off some kind of Minecraft movie, run by producers Roy Lee and Jill Messick. Nothing came into fruition since then, until word came out in October of that year from Mojang's COO, VU Bowie, proclaiming to the people the movie was in its beginning production stage, and apparently Sean Levy was picked up to carry the movie's mantle, making it akin to the Goonies movie. And then left over a packed schedule and creative differences. Perfect. But at least they picked the ball back up 7 months after Levy's departure to announce Rob McKinley as the new director, which, to their credit, rejuvenated a lot of the hope for the movie. To this day, people would compare the current Minecraft movie to Rob's ideas, emphasizing the scale from its premise to the concept art. An animated Minecraft movie sounded like a dream come true, especially with how stunning the concepts look. I mean, the script was good, the sets were made, the budget was put in place, and Steve Carell was actually signed to be in the movie, which would have been great if Warner Bros. Didn't change their movie chief with someone incredibly apathetic to the idea and let it die. Well, you know, by the time Rob left, it was 2018. So the year after, WB got filmmaker Peter Solet to help direct it with a new dramatic concept for the story that allegedly got leaked online. However, drumroll please, it got cancelled again, and Steve Carell dropped out. Oh boy. The film was originally supposed to be out in 2022, by the way, but from all the hoopla, it would take an unfathomable blessing from the heavens to make this actually work. And, well, it kinda did. Cause in that same year, we got Jared Hess as the new director, but we got a different approach to this. There were way more producers taking the helm this time, and instead, the movie had a credit to the previous producer, Jill Messick, as she passed away in 2018. However, another thing to take in that confused people a bit was the inclusion of Jason Momoa, aka Aquaman, as a main lead. But regardless, WB went with it, including Matt Berry for the cast, but scheduling issues made them replace him with Jack Black, as confirmed years later. After the release date got confirmed, script was good, concept was in, and the plan for putting this movie out was set, they finally released the promotional Armageddon, aka promotion that other movies should have gotten. I mean, technically they got a lot of traction with the release of the movie trailer being met with hell's doorstep, but even if I'll get into that later on, did we really need the extra promotion to have these, and these? Yeah, no shit, that's disgusting. And I'm pretty sure everyone online got their own opinions out that would make the public's verdict more than clear on how they felt about this version, but WB and Mojang were all in, and they were going to release this no matter what. And they did. Well, you've been watching for this long. You must want to know what I think about the movie, right? At its core, the Minecraft movie isn't a bad movie. If it was in the 2010s, had these YouTubers, and probably started a different cast. Because honestly, going into it, I wasn't really expecting much. I mean, the trailers showed enough. People going through the world of Minecraft, defeating a bunch of monsters and saving the day. Rinse and repeat for like 100 movies before it. That's genuinely all I can really give the Minecraft movie. It's a typical characters in another world plot. I put it up there with the Warcraft movie or Jumanji in terms of quality. Yeah, Jumanji. Remember that movie that also starred Jack Black? Nothing new was done there either. But as it stands, the Minecraft movie more or less knows what it is. It's a shitpost. Like, maybe one of the world's most expensive shitposts. Okay, you remember all of those Spider-Man or Sonic the Hedgehog fan films people put out on YouTube? Yeah, this is something like it for sure. Hokey acting, a plot as paper thin as it can get, and antagonists that don't go beyond their one-dimensional purpose. I'll give it this though, at least those fan films are more entertaining than this. When it comes to adapting video games, there's this spectrum of quality that they tend to fall under, going from most to least effort put into keeping it connected to the subject matter. Least would be your original Mario Bros. Movie or Doom, or even Street Fighter to an extent. You know, other than name, there isn't really much that reminds you of the game it's based on. Maybe a character has a similar name or costume and that's it. It could be plagued with awful designs, a terrible script, and in a few cases, almost no love in seeing the games in a new medium. And most would be the obvious stuff. Sonic, Mario, Detective Pikachu, Fnaf, movies that hold the original games they're based on close to their chest, wanting to pay tribute to the media that's made an impact on them. And more often than not, they become the most successful, either critically or financially. And from my point of view, a Minecraft movie isn't a bad movie, just not a good one either. Like if I had to describe it at all to people, I'd call it a turn off your brain and laugh type thing. You know, like an Adam Sandler or Jim Carrey movie. There's something here to look into, but you mostly go to see it for the jokes. Nothing more, nothing less. The cast's fine, I guess. Like I mentioned before, they aren't of much note besides the role they filled. Henry's the main protagonist, he's gonna push the movie forward. Garrett's the washed up jerk who redeems himself. Natalie's the big sister and Don's the other adult. Both of which don't get as much time as Steve or the main guys. They just kinda get split up in the start of the second act and don't meet up till the end. The movie's definitely not one for big character moments either. I'm not kidding when I say the biggest moments are saved for when Jack Black is mentioning a ton of items from the game. Like there was this moment where Jason Momoa's character Garrett betrays the group because he wanted to get rich to save his business. You know, the classic second act betrayal. And they want you to feel something, but it's also the Minecraft movie, so it's just kinda wasted here. It doesn't even end there. The movie's full of stuff like this. They try to tug on the heartstrings, but most of the time, it just falls flat. There's this one scene at the start of the movie that has the real estate agent, Dawn, have a normal interaction with our two main characters. But then she just turns around and goes, "I'm sorry about your mom." And it just doesn't fit. This doesn't make any sense storytelling-wise, besides saying something that tells people that she's one of the main four. Even the third act breakup feels kinda forced. I'm not kidding when I say that they try to do the third act breakup trope 3 times. There's a scene near the end of the movie where Steve detours Henry and Garrett to the Redstone Mines, and throughout the whole movie we're shown how selfish the character is. But Henry still feels betrayed by the guy who was charging him $50 for life lessons. Once again, this still doesn't make sense. If there's anything I can give this movie props for, it's definitely its effects. As we saw from the behind the scenes, the movie used a healthy mix of both practically made blocky props or sets and really well made CGI. Something that doesn't get much attention when it comes to the breakdown of movies like this. Like no matter what you think of this stuff, it really does look impressive here. Another thing I can give props for this movie is the music. They got the guy from Tenacious D on board, and despite how much Jack Black has aged, I gotta give it to him, the guy can sing here, and it kinda makes sense that he's all over the movie's soundtrack. Too bad they couldn't bring the other guy from Tenacious D. I wonder what caused that. On top of everything I just mentioned, I really gotta bring up the insane amount of promotion this movie got. There's Mattel action figures of Steve, that's just a grown man holding a pickaxe. Green milk, Lego sets, McDonald's released their own toys to go along with the release. An event was made in the game itself, a sweepstakes with young Sheldon. Like most movies get a trailer if you're lucky, this got a whole campaign. Yeah, you guys wanna know why Dave the Earth Blew Up flopped? It's because Mr. Moneybags WB didn't want to spend a dime promoting it. But we'll drop hundreds of thousands, even millions on this. This type of promotion hasn't been seen for movies in years. Now, most of this makes sense when it comes to a Minecraft movie as a whole, but one thing I don't think anyone expected is the one line that would cause one of the biggest ripple effects for cinemas all over.
A viral TikTok trend quickly becoming a safety hazard for movie theaters across the country. During a scene in a Minecraft movie, young audiences throw popcorn and drinks at the big screen.
God, I don't think there's been a movie that has caused this much uproar with its audience in a long time. I guess a close second would be last year's whole Wicked craze, but even then, there was a small amount of grown adults doing this. This is grown adults, children, and possibly families going wild whenever Jack Black would say the infamous line,
"Chicken jockey!"
And people would go mental over it, throwing popcorn, food, drinks, pretty much everything that can be thrown everywhere. There's videos online of how this trend just started spreading to every cinema in the States, and it's so crazy to see. People were legit treating this like the same people clapping and cheering for certain scenes in Endgame. But no, at least then it was just cheering. This is legit causing more of a hassle than usual for an already underpaid people to work twice as much. And guess what? They don't get paid anything extra either. Okay, listen, I personally don't like ruining people's nice time. I know time's a hard resource to get, especially depending on the type of person, but if I gotta be honest, this is just shitty. And I've worked food service, still do in fact. I've dealt with the disgusting amount of people who like to throw their food anywhere and everywhere they like just for the people who work there to pick it up. So I do recommend that if you do end up going to a screening of this movie, or hell, even any movie in the future, just don't be like this, please. Okay, PSA over. All in all, it's an experience that leaves mixed impressions. The story could have used a ton more work, the actors are trying their best, and if I'm being honest, this would have made a ton more sense animated. Like there's already videos out there that remade the trailer in the original blocky style and it looks a ton more interesting than this. Hell, Jack Black did voice acting for a certain panda flick not too long ago, so you can't tell me it wouldn't have worked.
Now you kids be careful of those fireworks.
End of the day, I'd give this flick a 4 out of 10. I wouldn't go out of my way to see this on my own, but with friends, it's a solid 2 hours. I don't really think what I or anyone else says is gonna make a dent in this movie's earnings though. I mean, at the time of recording, this thing already hit $500 million, and it wasn't even out for like 3 weeks. So I don't think a video of a guy shitting on it from his bedroom is gonna make any difference. If anything can be taken away from this video, it's always keep on the lookout for adaptations of quality, ones that want to take their characters into worlds for all audiences to enjoy on the big screen. Keep an eye out for more Mario movies, or Sonics, or even Angry Birds, and less of this. Like, this is fine, but if we give every other movie like it a pass, we might be living in a world of far less quality than we realize. Besides, it's not like we're gonna be running out of these adaptations anytime soon. Mario Galaxy movie in 2026, here we come!